So yeah. Hello again and welcome back. Scott Wanda's World. That Ugly One is back with a slightly different video today. On Friday, I don't know when it's coming out, so it doesn't mean anything to you. I put a post in the community saying I had a free day today on the fly swap. Lots of flies around this year. Don't know why. And it's Wimbledon. No one really cares about Wimbledon, to be fair, anymore. But yeah, I put a community post up saying I've got a free day, looking to... Wanda's gone away with the girls for a Wanda's sister's hen party, so I hope they have a lovely time. And thought I could bide my time, or fill my time, making some videos that I wouldn't normally make. I'm about to sit and record the Has the Craft Beer bubble burst. So the people that have been waiting for that, thank you ever so much. I do apologise. I wanted to collate all the information that the comments that you guys have left. So this one's going to be slightly different. I put a community post up saying I've got some time, do something I don't usually do. You can suggest a topic. You suggest a topic, and the most interesting one I'll sit and talk about. So I've got some comments. Thank you ever so much to the people that commented. It is really, really appreciated. Instead of recording a video on one topic, I'd record a conversation with about all of the topics that you guys have left. So this is that video. So there's not a massive amount of topics, but some of them are quite interesting. So I thought, why not? So let's get started. Number one from Philip Jones. Now, the way YouTube are working at the moment, they've changed how we see logins. So when it'll come up with Philip Jones as a comment, when I drill down into them, it shows as an at and a whatever your at Philip Jones 5514 is. So yeah, not a massive fan of it, but yeah. So if I don't actually get your name correct, I do apologise. It's just how this bloody system's now working. So at Philip Jones 5514. If you want to do something serious, do men's mental health, or if you want to do something funny, should certain people be made saints, i.e. people that have done a lot of good? Men's mental health. I can touch on men's mental health, but that would probably be a longer form video. I'll touch on it briefly now. I was brought up in an age, I'm almost 48, so I'm not ancient, but I'm not young either. I was brought up on the age of man up. And you didn't really as a bloke, a man, whatever you want to deem yourself as these days. I was brought up on man up, so you didn't talk about your mental health. If there's someone said they were struggling, it was always sort of in your head, pull yourself together, man up. And I lived that the majority of my life. My dad was a naval man, and I'm not saying it was necessarily him doing that. My mum brought us up. Sadly lost both of those. That hit me quite, certainly my mum hit me quite hard. But I lived the man up ethos of the generation I grew up in for most of my adult life. I had friends that would say they were struggling, but we didn't say it wasn't one of those things you talk about. And then I got divorced, and the divorce, I'm not ashamed to sit here and say, actually almost cost me my life. I'm very lucky that during the divorce I met Wanda. I've been very honest about this. Without Wanda, I don't think I'd be here. I went through a lot with that divorce and not seeing my son, and the things that I was accused of surrounding my son, all lies. Just all sort of abusing his rabbit and just utter nonsense that I could go into. So I fell into a depression, which I didn't realise. I thought about taking my own life a couple of times. I'd go missing for days. So Wanda didn't know where I was, or couldn't get hold of me because I wasn't living here at the time. So yeah, mental health with men is a big thing, and I think if you are struggling as a man or a woman, but it certainly seems more difficult for men to speak out about men's mental health, I implore you to reach out. There are a lot of organisations that will help you. You can also leave a comment or contact us privately if there's something you're struggling with personally. We're not counsellors, we're not trained counsellors, but we're here to listen if you have an issue. There's been a lot around the child maintenance service that I've dealt with, that people have contacted me. So if you're dealing with anything like that, then please get in touch. As a sounding board or someone just to shout at. But I could do a whole video on men's mental health. If that's something that you're interested in, then leave a comment, and I'm sure we can get around to that at some point. Should certain people be made saints? Do you know what? I've never thought about that. I've never thought about, I don't know, St. Thomas, and I don't even know any saints. St. Christopher, so he was a patron saint of was it travelling? Remember, I used to have a St. Christopher necklace as a child. I suppose that's sort of a bygone age now where we make people saints. I don't know if we make people saints anymore, do we? Was Mother Teresa deemed a saint in the end? I don't know. It's an interesting subject. I don't think I have any thoughts either way on that. I don't know. I haven't sat and thought about any of these questions. I've seen the questions, so I've not sat and given them any thought. Do people deserve to be made a saint? People that have done a lot of good. I don't think I'm against it. The problem being is that history then rewrites these people as not very nice people sometimes. So would you take the sainthood off them? Especially in this day and age where we live in a world where people get accused of things all the time, and I think, I don't know about that one. It's so it's not something I've actively thought about. For more honest, what's your thoughts? Woodism 5996. My good friend Woody from work just says salad. Absolutely love a salad. What's your favourite salad? I adore. Don't have it very often. I love a tuna salad or a tuna and cheese salad with balsamic vinegar. Got pickled onions. Pickled onions with a salad. I know Woody absolutely hates salad. It's something that he absolutely despises. So I like a salad. I can't believe that I asked him what would go into his room 101. His first answer I can't really say, but number 2 was salad, and he said that would compromise consist of the rest of room 101. So he feels quite strongly about salad. I don't have particular feelings towards salad, hatred or love, but I do like a salad, and if it's got balsamic vinegar and pickled onions with it, I'm happy. Marcus Simmons 2172. You haven't tackled the collapse of the craft beer industry, breweries yet, have you? Or have I missed a video somewhere? Marcus, thank you very much for the comment. No, you haven't missed that. I'm going to sit and record this, and then I'm going to turn the camera off on my phone, as it is. Not a camera, it's my phone. And then I'm going to sit and record that one, actually. I don't know which one's going to come out first, but that's an interesting subject. I've got another interesting subject that I've thought about doing, so I'm going to do about 3 videos today. But the collapse of the craft beer industry in England is something that I've been thinking about for a little while. I meant to make it back in January, February time, but just never got round to it. Obviously, I put a post up or a video out a few weeks back now, asking for your comments. The video will include those comments, and I'll address the comments. So it could be quite a long video, but I think it's an interesting subject. It's an interesting subject that don't think anybody's really tackled yet. So I'm looking forward to that one, actually, Marcus. So look out for that when that'll be out. Meeks 4005 BVMs obsession review. Laughing face. I don't know if Dave has an obsession with me. I think that is a bloody great bee. Me and Dave are very good friends. So how me and Dave became friends was they were picking their new dog, the Toodle, up from not far from us. I'd seen that Dave had done a video. He was down in Portsmouth, so I used to watch BVM's channel, and I left a comment on his video saying, next time you're in Portsmouth, if you're free, we'll meet up for a beer. We had a little bit of backwards and forwards on DMs on Twitter when we had the Twitter account, but I shut it down because it was fucking horrible. So there was a bit of backwards and forwards. I sent Dave my phone number, and then I was at work one day and I got a message from Dave, a text message, just saying, all right, mate, did you want to meet up for that drink? So me and Wanda met up with Dave and June in Wetherspoons down in Southsea. Got on very, very well, and we've been friends ever since. People like to stir the shit between me and Dave and certain other people, saying that I'm in Dave's ear and all that. It's basically, we're just friends. We're very like-minded friends. We've got the same sort of sense of humour and same outlook on bits and pieces, and we just get on very, very well. We're in contact daily, and it's just a friendship. He for some reason, he's decided to start sending me shit through the post I don't want. I think it's just for his own amusement. Wanda and June are very, very good friends, very close. June's looked out for Wanda through a quite stressful period, and I think this comes up in one of the topics a bit later, which I will touch on actually. So yeah, it's just a friendship that sort of blossomed out of nowhere, and so Dave and June came to our wedding, and bloody flies. Yeah, it's just nice. It's nice. They're a nice couple. They're a nice family. They were down for a week for the wedding, and it's so. Is he obsessed with me? Probably. The comparison between UK breweries and Europe's breweries from Reese Crofton, 4630. Reese Crofton. Thank you very much, Reese. Thank you for the comment. I'm not going to touch on that one too much because I'm gonna sort of screenshot that, and I might do a little bit of delving. I'm not very up on European breweries. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm any sort of expert. I'm basically a fat man with a proper job that turns a camera on to talk to you people about the beer I'm drinking. If that's a review, if I'm reviewing things, then so be it. It is what it is. But I don't know enough about UK breweries, Europe's breweries, to comment on that at the moment. But it is something I will take away, and I think we'll come back to at another point, because I think that's quite an interesting subject to delve into. Johnny Boy 267 says, maybe one about which beer tubers you do and don't like. Depends how deep I want to go into that one, really, doesn't it? Who do I get on with? This should be quite a short conversation. I hate the term beer tube. It's never one I've particularly liked, and yeah, it is what it is. People I get on with in the beer community on YouTube. The very obvious one that will be of no surprise to you is the one and only Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews, who is the nicest man you'll ever meet. Just a very down-to-earth, genuine, funny and kind man. And Wanda and Gemma, Dean's wife, get on very, very well as well. Dean he reached out to us very early on in the channel, did a live with Dean, and we've been firm friends ever since, for coming up for 4 years in about August time. I don't think we've ever really had a crossword. Just a genuinely nice man. I'm going to have to make a note of these because I'm going to forget people. If I forget anyone, I do apologise. Other people to get on with. Brett, Beardy Beer Reviews. A tremendously nice man. I'm not going to say I watch everybody's videos. I don't watch a lot of beer videos anymore. I'm largely done with the whole scene. I dip in and out of stuff. And yeah, so I don't necessarily watch all of these people's videos, but these are people that I think are genuinely good people. So Beardy Beer Reviews, Brett is a lovely guy. If you don't subscribe to Brett, go and give him some love. Over the last probably year, I've started watching I've Had Worse, David J and Mrs. Director. A very good channel. There's some humour in there as well. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which I think is very, very important when you're doing this, because there are people that take it a bit seriously. Yeah, so David, I've Had Worse. JB, Northern Southerner Beer Reviews, very decent man. Did a live with him. I don't know when it was. Last Christmas or Christmas? I think it was last Christmas. First time ever. But Jonathan's always been very supportive of our channel. I do watch quite a lot of Jonathan's reviews because again, there's a little bit of humour in there as well. Again, doesn't take itself too seriously, and I like that. So JB Northern Southerner's Beer Reviews. Simo Sups. Josh has always been very supportive of our channel. A nice guy. And again, doesn't take yourself. Again, you can see a pattern here of not taking yourself too seriously. Simo Sups. Let me have a look, because I'm never going to remember everybody, and I'm going to apologise. Subscriptions. What else have we got here? Simo Sups. Bands, Bikes and Booze. I don't know his name. But I like watching him. Long form beer reviews, like a biker, Hell's Angel, rock sort of chap. I think I'd probably get on alright with him, to be fair. I quite like watching his reviews. The Craft Beer Basic, Rowie, it makes me laugh again. Just an absolute gem of a man. Met him at Warrior Fest. I like watching him. All Hail the Ale. Nick is if you're into your low ABV and no ABV beers, Nick is your man. Sofakin Drunk, the lovely Danny McFadden is a cracking bloke. Chris's Beer Reviews, born the day before me in the same hospital. A tremendously nice man. Who else have we got? What else have I got? I'm going to forget. I actually love, and this will make Dean laugh, Rob John's Beer Reviews out in America. I mean this with the nicest sense. The worst beer reviewer in the world. But he appears to be a lovely man, and there's something eminently watchable about Rob John. So if you don't subscribe to Rob John, go and give him some love. Big Bald Beer Reviews. Is it Big Bald Reviews? I like him. He's very good on the perfect draft and all those sort of stuff. Who have I forgotten? I'm going to have forgotten Raggy's. Raggy's a nice guy. Again, I don't watch a lot of everybody. I've never had a problem with Rampant Lion, James. Never had a problem with Harry Meadows from Blue Nose Beer Reviews. He's always been very pleasant to me. Kent Beer Reviews. Craig, don't have any issues with Craig. They're all nice guys. People I don't get on with. Well, you're going to have the... Do I go here? What's the question? Maybe one about beer reviews you do and don't like. I don't dislike anybody. You know, really. Don't dislike anybody. Certain people didn't like the truth. Certain people they had a path in the road where it was me or a bigger channel, and they chose the bigger channel to follow. Be very careful. I don't want to stir any trouble up. Excuse me. One channel I fell out with because they said something on a live. This isn't the one you're thinking of, where he accused me of something and I proved he was wrong. And from that moment on, I was done, really. I did try to be friendly, but yeah, there was no going back. Another channel, he blocked me. That's absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that. And there's the bigger channel. Apart from those three, really, I'm okay with most people. The one I'm sad about is something happened between me and Barry on a Beer No Idea, and it wasn't. I relayed a message. I relayed something to somebody who has a habit of not keeping private conversations private, and decided to take it upon themselves to attack Barry. And me and Barry, for whatever reason, we hadn't spoken, and it didn't help the friendship. I have tried to put the friendship back together, but for me, it's going to take two, and I'm not sure Barry wants to. If he doesn't, I don't hold that against him. Barry's a nice bloke. Again, I had him at the wedding, and yeah, I'm very sad about that one. But I don't hate Barry. I don't dislike Barry. Barry's a very nice man, and he's got his channel's grown and grown and grown. And the others I don't really know. I don't know Rate My Beer, Paul and Michelle. Don't know them at all. And I've had bits of Rockers Beer Reviews. Don't really know Martin. So yeah, there's so many now. There's so many YouTubers that review beer to whatever extent, and you can't all get on. You say that there's this word of beer community. It's not a community. The community are you guys. We're the facilitators of that community. There are pockets of people that get on. Obviously, Crummy Beard. I've never had a problem with Tom. Tom's always been very polite and pleasant to me, as has Mark from the Craft Beer Hub. So, yeah, it is what it is. What it is, you know. It is what it is. I don't lose any sleep over it. I've made mistakes. I hold my hands up to them, but I'm not the arsehole that a lot of people make me out to be. HEI Limited 1286, which his name's Gareth, and he's from High Wycombe. I do know this because I asked him, and he comes in with a question that is actually quite an interesting one. I'm not in the loop here, Scott, and I hope this isn't an inappropriate question, but what's happened to Wanda? Her sense of humour is spot on, and the interaction between you two was hilarious, especially in the early videos when she drank the beers and pulled funny faces because she hated them. Wanda sort of semi-addressed this last night on a live for it's not my birthday, a couple of weeks' time, but it's the only chance we're going to get to do it. The negativity, the stress, the anxiety, and the general nastiness that came my way, really, not hers, over the last 18 months, put Wanda off doing anything on the channel. We changed. See, it was predominantly a beer channel to begin with. Set up to take the piss out of the fact that Wanda didn't like beer at all. She hated it. So it was set up for that and that alone, and I didn't expect to last 4 weeks, let alone 4 years, and sort of grown into, I think it was just shy of 4,000 subscribers, which blows my mind. Over 1 million views. It's just ridiculous. And then we changed it up because Wanda didn't want to do beer reviews anymore. That's her prerogative and her job, you know. So I took that on board. It took me a little bit of persuasion, but two guys that helped with that conversation were Chris the Butcher. Chris the Butcher, hope you're very well, and I hope your family's well. And Dave and June. So they helped boost along the channel, so we changed up to Scott Wander's World. So we would do other things, cooking, challenges, going out, vlogs going out, and just lighten the mood a little bit rather than just doing beer. There was the fallout with the bigger channel. There was a fallout with another channel of sharing of WhatsApp messages, shall we say, which the other channel's been moaning about for a little while. So equally culpable, but we won't go into that. We won't go into the hypocrisy of the man. That caused a lot of stress, and that stress has carried on through various outlets. Really, there's a channel now that likes to poke at me. That's fine, but you indirectly hurt Wanda because she's had enough of it, which is why you don't see her anymore, because she doesn't need the negativity of it all. If you keep private conversations private, then that's what it should be. But when you start making them public, it affects my wife, and Wanda doesn't want to do anything anymore. We made an agreement that she'd do the live. I agreed to do something, so I asked that as a favour in return. And do you know what? It's really sad because I think this channel misses Wanda enormously. I miss Wanda enormously on that side of this table, or doing anything with regard to the channel, because I think she comes across really well. Her sense of humour is, as you say, Gareth, is spot on. She's a good-looking girl. Some of the comments that are made towards her are horrific, and if you're making comments like that, you should be ashamed of yourself. I get that in a public eye, we're here to be shot at, but not with vulgar comments like that. And if you're doing them, you need to be having your head read, really. So Wanda doesn't do anything really anymore because she doesn't need the hassle from it. I do it because it's my hobby, and I get a pleasure out of it. I get a pleasure out of reading your comments. There's a stigma that I've got an ego. No, I've stopped calling myself a beer reviewer. That's a fucking joke. So there you go. And it's, yeah, so the fact that when people attack me, her name's on this channel as well, and they're attacking her by proxy. So she doesn't want to do anything anymore, and I can't blame her. So it's the people that have attacked that have stopped Wanda being involved on the channel, which is sad when you think about it. It is what it is. So that's why she's not involved. Thomas, window beer reviews with Thomas. Go and give Thomas some love. Been with us since day one. And he's come on, a very nice young man. And he's come in with a few. Favourite conspiracy theory, like the royal families are lizards. Favourite conspiracy theories. Paul McCartney's dead and he's been replaced by someone. I think he's phenomenal. I like as a kid I was fascinated, and through my teens with Area 51 out in the Nevada desert, and the whole alien conspiracy. I like the JFK conspiracies and who killed JFK. Really interested in that. Did we actually land on the moon, or was it a setup? That's interesting. Conspiracy theories is something I've been meaning to take a look at, as I'm guessing that's what that's aimed at. And yeah, I might come back to that another point. Favourite beer festival you attended in Wales? I've only attended one beer festival in Wales, which was the Barry Island Beer Festival, where we went down to support Simon and had a great day, and that's where our friendship actually came from. I'm unbelievably sad that Simon decided to do what he did, in all honesty, because I thought we were good friends. Wanda warned me off him from day one because she didn't like him. Maybe the wife does always know best. Climate change in Greta Thunberg. I'm not getting into climate change. I'm not interested. It's going to upset people. I'll be dead and gone. Have you ever run a marathon? I'm show my fucking last name. People know my last name. But the Brighton Marathon, 5 hours and 10 minutes in 2019. Yeah, I have run a marathon. I won't be running a fucking another one. Jake's Beer Roulette. How you doing, mate? Thank you so much for the comment. Hey, Scott. Your recent adventures in Weissbier would be worth a listen. What can people expect? And a ranking of what you've tried thus far. Weissbier. Yeah. It's as a craft beer nerd, lover, have been for, well, I don't know, since Punk IPA first came out, somewhere around there. I set up a channel so I could drink all these lovely beers, non-alcoholic. I'll wait till the evening. That's a joke before we go any further. And always preferred craft beer. The craft beer has tailed off a little bit for me. I was not very well over Christmas, and decided that I was going to. And then January came round, and I wasn't going to do dry January, but I did. I think I did 2 or 3 weeks in the end, because I had this flu or whatever I'd had over Christmas, and decided that I didn't want to drink. And then when I went back, and I was having problems with sort of acid reflux a little bit, and I thought, you know what, let's try something different. So I'd taken a look at a couple of Weissbiers, I think, around that time, or I just started drinking Franziskaner because it was cheap. So I picked a couple of bottles of Franziskaner up, and I thought, this is fantastic. Patronus I'd had before, obviously from Lidl because it was cheaper, and it just started. I thought, where money was tight, obviously the cost of living kicked in. You can buy, and we'll get into this. We'll get into this in a video later. But I can go to Morrison's up the road, and I can buy 4 bottles of Franziskaner for four. Buy 4, get 1 free, or the cheapest free, but all the same price, obviously. So I can get 4 bottles of Franziskaner for £6.75. £9. Makes sense, doesn't it? I went to a place yesterday. So you've got Whales and Sharks out at the moment by Verdant. There's another collab of something with them, and you've got the other shark one, whatever that's called. And I was appalled at the price of them. The Whale Sharks double IPA, 8.5%, would have set me back £10.20. I can't justify it anymore. So I've gone over to Weissbier. A lot of people have said they've gone over to German. I've gone back to German lagers for price and the quality, and I can't disagree with it. So I started drinking. So if I'm going to go out, if I'm going to go and buy myself a couple of beers, I'll pick up some Franziskaner, or that one over there hasn't got it, but the one on the A3 has. I'll pick up a couple of Paulaner. First time I had it the other day, I picked Paulaner Weissbier up as well now. So that and it's just the fact that it's a style I like. So with the Weissbiers, a lot of the flavours come from the yeast and the wheat. So you're getting the banana and clove and spice aspect, and that wheat gives it a nice texture and body. And again, it's not for everybody, but for my palate, and I know certain people have said they just can't. I think it's Benjamin said he just can't get on with them. But for value for money, for me, they're fantastic. Ranking, I might get into that in another video. My go-to one that I drink the most of is Franziskaner. So I think that probably says that all, to be fair. And I might get, once I've got to do Weissbier on the channel. Once I've done Weissbier, I think I've gone through the commercially available ones in Britain in the supermarkets. So I'll rank the supermarket ones. If I've missed any, then let me know, and I'll get around to doing it. Your journey, Christopher Cooper. Hey Chris, how you doing, mate? Thank you so much for the comment. Your journey so far as a channel, and how it might have affected your friendships, mental health, or family life, if it has in any way. That would be interesting. Chris, thank you very much for the comment. your journey as a channel so far. Started as Wanda Beer Wonder back in May 2019, 18, I don't know, something like that. You go 4 years to take the piss out of Wanda. Then Wanda didn't want her name on the channel anymore, so we removed it and just became Beer Wonder. I quite liked the Beer Wonder name, actually. I thought it was alright. And then circumstances changed in our lives. People that don't know that Leah, Wanda's daughter, my stepdaughter Leah's got a heart condition. So that takes precedence over everything, really. Leah's health. So we decided, after a lot of pulling by Wanda, to change the channel to Scott and Wanda's World. So we could do anything. It wasn't just about beer, although it's still very beer heavy. Let's check the camera's still rolling. So although it's still beer heavy, so we changed it to Scott and Wanda's World, where it didn't constrain me into any particular subject. I could do what I like. I can do. I've started doing world record attempts. Wanda does her little cooking videos every now and then. I still do the beer, although Wanda won't do the beer anymore because of her job. And yeah, so it's ticked along. She actually, a couple of weeks ago, she wanted me to take her name off the channel, so I was thinking of I'd have to rebrand it for a third time or fourth time, and I didn't really want to do it. How it might have affected your friendships outside the channel? No, I don't think it has. My friends know we've got a YouTube channel. I'm not someone that says, "Oh, you got to watch all the videos. Oh, you got to subscribe." I've never been like that. It's your choice. I don't thrust it at people. It is what it is. If people choose to watch, I work for a big company. I don't really throw that I've got a YouTube channel about. People know. A couple of guys I work with now, they're quite interested in it. They've joined in some live streams and chat as well. So it comes up in conversation. Has it ever brought me any trouble from work? Only once, after one of the biggest videos went out, and I got a phone call from my manager asking if I had a YouTube channel because somebody had reported a video that had nothing to do with the company. So yeah, I keep work and the channel very separate. I think that's very important as well. It's my hobby. That's my job. That's what pays the bills, etc., etc., etc. Friendships with regard to the channel. Yeah, it has. Yeah, I've made friends. I've lost friends. Some are my fault. I will take the blame for that. Some aren't my fault. I'm not taking the blame for them. I've had a couple of people that have stuck around for the ride. And I've basically shut myself off from the noise. I took the decision a little while ago to shut myself off from the noise. So I've got a couple of people that I speak to regularly. They know who they are. And a couple of people I speak to irregularly, and that's what it is. I'm not interested in opening myself up anymore, particularly because it ends in I get tarnished of being the bad guy all the time and the negative one, etc., etc., etc. And all I do is stand up for myself, and then you got people want to keep chipping at me, which is, they can do that, but I'm not interested. I'm not interested in people like that anymore. I've done things wrong. I completely own up to that, but I'm not the negative influence certain people make me out to be. Mental health, it does affect. It certainly affected Wanda's mental health enormously at times. There's a whole video affected about, well, not a whole video, it's part of a video of how certain things affected Wanda. The fact that she doesn't do anything on the channel anymore. I don't take any comments too seriously. If it's a negative comment, as long as it isn't abusive, I'm okay with it. If it's abusive, I'll just block you. Don't need the hassle. I'm not here to be shot. Oh, well, I am here to be shot at, but not in an abusive way. Does it affect your mental health? Yeah, it does. And there's been a lot of it over the last 6 months, to be fair. That I'm fairly tough, fairly straightforward. But when people keep digging at you, it can be a bit tiring, is the word, and it causes problems with me and Wanda. We end up arguing, and then we row for days, and we don't speak, and it's a tension in the house. She'd shut down YouTube tomorrow, our channel, because of the hassle that comes our way. It can be horrible. The good times outweigh the bad. Most of the time, but there are things that I'm very sad about, and I'm not going to go into them particularly. But yeah, there are things I'm sad about and mistakes I've made, but I'm going to keep them private because that's what I don't need to. I don't need to make those things public to drive my channel. Did it affect family life? Well, I think I've touched on that with Wanda. She just shuts down from it all. It causes a lot of issues privately between us, this channel. I enjoy it. It's my hobby. I don't enjoy the shit that she goes through because I'm annoyed by something. That would be, and the family life. I like last night. It was nice just to get out for a couple of hours, go and support some local tap rooms, which I do a lot of. Put a lot of as much money as we can locally into local tap rooms and breweries. I don't always put the stuff on the channel, but I don't have to. I've built a subscription base that I wanted to build the channel. It's at a stage I didn't think it was ever going to get to, so I'm quite happy with it. If it grows again, if it doesn't, it's stagnated a bit. I don't mind that either. If I'm honest, I'm never going to be a YouTube millionaire. It doesn't pay enough. It doesn't pay the bills. I think it was £48 this month. So people that think we're making fucking loads of money, you're onto a complete. No, it's not making anything. So those are the questions. Those are the topics that people ask. The questions. I hope I've answered them honestly. I didn't come in with any script. I've sat here and talked about absolute rubbish. And the last one, there was one more. Sorry, I do apologise. Richard Thomas wanted me to talk about Warhammer 40,000. I've got no idea about Warhammer 40,000. So what I've done is I've gone to Wikipedia. Warhammer 40k is a miniature war game produced by Games Workshop. It is the most popular miniature war game in the world and is particularly popular in the United Kingdom. The first edition of the rulebook was published in September 1987 and the 10th and current edition was released in 2023. As in other miniature war games, players enact battles using miniature models of warriors and fighting vehicles. The playing area is a tabletop model of a battlefield comprising models of buildings, hills, trees and other terrain features. Each player takes turns moving their model warriors around the battlefield and fighting their opponent's warriors. These fights are resolved using dice and simple arithmetic. That is about as much as I know. And I'm going to be honest that I'm ever going to know about Warhammer 40k. Was never for me, that sort of stuff. I was always a video game guy. I could probably do a video on all of the consoles I've owned for years. If that's something you're interested in, then let me know. But yeah, I was never into Warhammer and things like that. Games Workshop, we still got one in Portsmouth unless it's been demolished. I can't think it has because it was always packed. We've got a place down in Southsea called Dice, where you can go in and play games, and there's a big table in there where they play whatever they play. I know Dungeons and Dragons is D&D is still sort of fairly popular as well. It was just stuff I was never particularly into. But I know that it's got a huge fan base over the world. So if that's the sort of thing you're into, then fair play. Me and Wanda like playing cards, Lego games on the PS4, etc., etc. So yeah, what's your hobbies? What do you enjoy doing? Got quite deep a couple of times in there. I hope I haven't bored you. If I have, unsubscribe. It's absolutely fine. If there's anything else you want me to talk about in another long form video, stick a comment down below. I don't know how long I've been waffling on for. I have my phone round the other way, so I can't see the screen. I'm not a narcissist. Not to say that anybody that does, you know. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you've got any comments on the stuff that I've said, leave a comment down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't give it a thumbs down, there's a subscribe button down there. And me and Wanda said,